Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Good afternoon, sir.
Good to be with you.
Thank you, sir. In a week when Republicans voted to throw 5 million people off the food stamps program and want to deny at least 20 million people affordable health care, can you tell us what is the underlying philosophy of your friends across the aisle? What kind of society are they proposing with their measures?
Martin, that is an excellent question and one that is not asked too often. Today it is trying to defeat Obamacare, throwing millions of elderly people and children and working families off of food stamps, but it is important to understand what their real agenda is. Their real agenda is to end Social Security, to privatize it, to voucherize Medicare, end it as we know it, massive cuts in Medicaid, to do away with the Departments of Education and Energy, and, by the way, not only not raise the minimum wage to a living wage. Do you know what they believe in terms of the minimum wage?
Oh, I've
They
heard it.
believe the minimum wage concept should be abolished.
Of course.
And if employers in America can hire you for $3 an hour, that's freedom.
Yeah.
So you have the freedom to work for $3 an hour, the freedom not to have any health insurance, the freedom not to deal with global warming. That's their definition of freedom.
Well, you see, the thing is, sir, we keep being told that the food stamps program has to be slashed because it's being exploited by feckless freeloaders and fraudsters. But what about 3/4 of households receiving SNAP benefits either have a child, an elderly person or a disabled person? And now the Centre on Budget and Policy Priorities reports that the House GOP's bill could deny benefits to about 170,000 veterans. Now, you chair the Veterans Affairs Committee, and I mean, can you describe what may happen if these men and women are simply tossed off food stamps?
Look, in terms of veterans' issues, we sent people to Iraq and Afghanistan. They gave up their employment back home. They come back. We're living in the midst of a very high unemployment era. They're searching for jobs. Food stamps, in many cases, are the lifeline. It's how they feed themselves, how they feed their families. Take those people off of food stamps, those families are going to be living hand to mouth, and they're going to be in desperate shape.
But, sir, Republicans say they're all fraudsters. This whole program is riddled with fraud. They say that there are surfers throughout the country who are basically using food stamps to exploit the goodwill of Americans, and what needs to happen is that the whole program needs to be slashed.
Right. Well, Martin, look, that is what... Here's where they come from. They are funded in a significant way by billionaires like the Koch brothers, who want more tax breaks for the rich and for corporate America. Now, these guys don't have the guts to stand up to big money, so what they try to do is to take out people's anger against low and moderate income people. We've been hearing that line since Ronald Reagan, the so-called welfare, that stuff. But the bottom line is right now, poverty today at 46.5 million is higher than it has ever been. Middle class is disappearing. People are working longer hours for low wages. Many people in America who walk into food shelves, you know what? They have jobs. Maybe they have 2 jobs, but they're getting paid $8, $9 an hour, can't feed their families. At the end of the day, what you're talking about is incredible cruelty and arrogance for a party representing the wealthy and the powerful to punish poor and working people. That is immoral. And by the way, if we get this sequestration budget passed for another year, it will mean the loss of 900,000 jobs in America. These are bullies who are beating up on helpless people in many cases and representing the rich and the powerful. They don't impress me.
Senator Bernie Sanders, thank you for representing people who do not have a voice in this argument. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Still ahead, the president today responds to the ruthless terror attack at a Kenyan mall. The very latest when we come back.